Hello everyone. Before starting the lesson, please try this warm-up. How many small squares are in each large colored square? We have a red square, a blue square, and a green square. How many of these smaller squares are inside each? Pause the video and see what you come up with. You probably got these numbers: 36, 64, and 100. So I just want to point out something here. I'm hoping that you didn't try to count all the squares in each, but you would have run into trouble with these partial pieces in the red square, but that you actually just found the area of each. So you took the length and multiplied by the width, and because they're squares, the length and width are the same. Notice that when you add these two numbers, 36 and 64, you get the other number, 100. So 36 plus 64 is 100. Now 36 was 6 squared, 6 times 6. 64 was 8 squared, or 8 times 8. And 100 is 10 times 10, 10 squared. So I can write 36 plus 64 equals 100 as 6 squared plus 8 squared equals 10 squared. And this is to remind you of this formula here: a squared plus b squared equals c squared, which you'll recall is the Pythagorean theorem. And all it means is that when you square one side of a triangle and add the square of the other side of the triangle, you will get the square of the longest side in the triangle, the hypotenuse. And that's what this lesson is about, the Pythagorean theorem. So our goal in this lesson is to determine missing side lengths in right triangles. And of course, we will be doing that using the Pythagorean theorem. And that is, of course, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. This only works for right triangles. So keep that in mind as we do this. A right triangle is a triangle that has a right angle, or a 90-degree angle in it. I want to talk about these labels A, B, and C. These are just arbitrary letters that were chosen to represent the side lengths of a triangle. A and B are what we call the legs, or the shorter sides of the triangle. C is what we call the hypotenuse, the longest side of the triangle. I know it's the longest side because it's across from the biggest angle. If we look on the opposite side of the triangle, from the right angle, we get to the hypotenuse. It's important to remember that the hypotenuse is what we call C in the Pythagorean theorem. That's important because if you put the hypotenuse in the wrong spot, the formula does not work. You have to put the hypotenuse where the C is in order for these calculations that we're about to do to work. Now here are two examples of using the Pythagorean theorem to solve for an unknown side length in a right triangle. In the first example, I know this side is 3 centimeters, this side is 4 centimeters, and I'm trying to find the length of the missing side. I've labeled it as x. In the other example, I have two sides that are 3 and 4 centimeters. That's the same thing, and I'm trying to find the missing side, which I've called x. So they're very similar problems, but I want you to notice the difference. The difference is in the position of x. In the first example, x is the hypotenuse, the longest side. I know it's the longest side because it's across from the right angle. So x is the hypotenuse. In the second example, x is not the hypotenuse. Across from the right angle is the 4 centimeter side. So the hypotenuse is 4 centimeters in the second example. So because the hypotenuse is not the same, we don't have the same solution. We start both with a squared plus b squared equals c squared. But notice the position of the numbers that I plug into my formula. In the first example, x is the hypotenuse, so x goes where the c was. X replaces c. 3 and 4 are the other two sides. They replace a and b. In the second example, 4 is the hypotenuse, so 4 replaces c. 3 and x are the other two sides, so they replace a and b. So the very next line in the solution is different for these two examples. And we work it out. We square 3 to get 9. 4 squared is 16. Add 9 plus 16, we get 25. 25 equals x squared. So to figure out what x is, we have to do the square root of 25. We're just doing an opposite operation there. The opposite of squaring is square root. And when you take the square root of 25, we get 5 centimeters as the answer. That's the length of the hypotenuse in the first question. In the second question, remember, 3 and x are the legs, 4 is the hypotenuse, so we have 3 squared plus x squared equals 4 squared. We want to solve for x, so we're going to have to do a little more algebra than we did in the first example. 3 squared is 9, 4 squared is 16, so we end up with 9 plus x squared equals 16. Well, 9 plus something equals 16, so to figure out what the something is, we're going to do 16 minus 9, which is 7. And that makes sense. 9 plus 7 is 16, so x squared must equal 7. Now, if x squared equals 7, then x is the square root of 7, which is approximately 2.6 centimeters. So just pay attention. Notice the difference in these examples. All other questions that you can solve with the Pythagorean theorem will look either like the first example or the second example. The difference is in whether you're solving for the hypotenuse or solving for one of the other sides. Here's a more complex example, but we will use the Pythagorean theorem in our solution. I hope you can see that there are more than one triangle here. There's a smaller triangle on the left. There's a slightly larger triangle on the right. And there's one large triangle that combines both of the smaller ones. It's this large triangle that we're trying to figure out the missing side length of. Now, this is going to be a problem that is solved in more than one step. Notice that the two smaller triangles are right triangles. There's a 90-degree angle here in the smaller one and here in the bigger one. In both of the smaller triangles, we know two sides, and we can figure out the third side. And once you have that, you can figure out what the total length of this side is. I'd like you to pause the video and try this question on your own, and then, when you're done, start the video again, and you can see how you did. So you can check your work here. I looked at the smaller triangle, and I found this side length, which I called A. I said a squared plus 9 squared equals 11 squared, because 11 is the hypotenuse of the triangle. It goes into the C spot. I proceeded to follow my example from the previous slide, and I solved for my side length to be 6.3 meters. So it's 6.3 meters from here to here. In the other triangle, I solved for this missing side length, which I called B. B squared plus 9 squared equals 15 squared. And I solved for B to be 12 meters. X is a combination of A and B. So if I added my length of A and my length of B, I'll get the total length called X. And that's what I did over here. So I get a final answer of 18.3 meters for this entire side length. This next example is something that you can try on your own. You are buying a new TV. You have a rectangular space in your wall unit that is 44 by 24 inches in size. What's the largest TV you could buy? Just so you are aware, screen size of a TV is measured on the diagonal. So that's what we're trying to find is that screen size that would fit in this rectangle in your wall unit. So pause the video and try this question and then check back in to see how you do. This question was a little more straightforward. We know the height and width are 24 and 44 inches. That's given in the question. We want to find the screen size of a TV that will fit in that spot. So this is a right triangle. We're finding the hypotenuse. So 24 squared plus 44 squared equals x squared. Solve, we get about a 50-inch TV. That would be the largest TV you could fit in that wall unit. This is an example of a question where you don't have a picture given to you, so it's up to you to figure out what the drawing looks like. So I'll read the question. A ladder is 3 meters long. So in your mind's eye, picture a ladder. That ladder is 3 meters long. Okay, let's move on. The bottom of the ladder is placed 130 centimeters from a wall. So can you picture that? You've got a ladder leaning against a wall. The bottom of the ladder is 130 centimeters away from the wall. And the question is, how far up the wall does the ladder reach? So try in your mind's eye to picture what the triangle looks like. Draw a diagram, label it with the information you know, and try to figure out how to answer this question. I will caution you though, notice the units, 3 meters, 130 centimeters. Just watch out for that. That's important. Your units have to be the same in your drawing in order for the Pythagorean theorem to work. So pause the video, try this question, and see how you do. So here's how I interpreted the question. Here's my ladder. It's 3 meters long. The bottom of the ladder is 1.3 meters away from the wall. 130 centimeters is 1.3 meters because 100 centimeters is 1 meter. That's the conversion factor. I assumed a right angle here, and it's a safe assumption because walls are usually built perpendicular to the ground. We don't build walls at angles to the ground or else the wall is going to fall over. So that's a very safe assumption in any of these questions. X is the distance up the wall that I'm trying to find. How high does the ladder reach up the wall? So I know the hypotenuse, I know one of the other sides, I'm going to figure out the missing side length. I use Pythagorean theorem, make sure 3 is in the hypotenuse spot, and proceed to solve. I get about 2.7 meters as the distance my ladder reaches up the wall. If you're up for more of a challenge, here's one. Bob and Roberta are at the beach. They see a food truck. Bob wants to walk directly across the sand to the food truck, but Roberta wants to walk straight to the road and then to the food truck. They can walk 2 feet per second on the sand and 5 feet per second on the road. Who will reach the food truck first? So here's a diagram to help you. The yellow represents the sand, the gray represents the road. They can walk different speeds on the different surfaces. They're both starting in the same spot. Bob is in blue. He walks straight from the start to the food truck on the sand. Roberta, she walks up to the road and then along the road to the food truck. So she will walk through the sand and on the road. Remember, different speeds depending on what surface they're walking on. Pause the video and try this question if you're up for the challenge, and then you can check back in. I'll show you the answer soon. If you did your calculations, you would have found that Bob walks a distance of 625 feet. He's walking on the sand 2 feet per second. That means it will take him 325 seconds to walk to the food truck. Roberta walks 325 feet on the sand. That will take 162.5 seconds. And then she walks 563 feet along the road. Now it's a different speed on the road, 5 feet per second, so that'll take her 112.6 seconds. Her total time is 275.1 seconds if I add the time it took on the sand and on the road. It works out. Takes less time for Roberta to walk to the food truck than it does for Bob, so Roberta gets there first. So now it's time to practice. You have a worksheet Pythagorean Theorem challenge. Try all the questions on there, and if you run into any difficulties, please let me know.